I have a question on cost segregation. If I have only one residential single family house to rent, would I allow to use cost segregation tax deduction to accelerate the deductions instead of 27.5 years, so I can deduct some of the cost of the building in 5 years uh, from my income tax?
Thank you, Jane. So a question on cost segregation. Of course, cost segregation, you have to be a real estate professional. You have to hire an engineer who's a cost segregation engineer, a CPA, specializes in this. There are some, our team can actually help with that now. There's some online services and there's that we can actually help with that. And so it's not as much of a pain as it once was. But at the end of the day, it really comes down to numbers. And this is where talking with a cost segregation engineer, they'll let you know probably on the phone if it makes sense with just one rental property. It really depends. One rental property, maybe not, because you're going to spend thousands to do the cost segregation analysis. That's the thing. It's going to cost you. As we're building our properties each year, we're building 20 at a time, 25 of them at a time in a different subdivision. And we actually have a cost segregation engineer that we work with on our staff that will go and do all of the cost segregation analysis ahead of time. So when a client works with us, if they qualify under that cost segregation provision, then we actually give them a cost segregation analysis for free that they can then use to accelerate on their taxes. When we tell people that on the phone, they're kind of blown away by it because it costs thousands of dollars. But we're able to do that because we're building multiple properties at one time. So we're able to give that to the client. And if they're a real estate professional, that means they don't have another job, separate job. They are qualified as a real estate professional in the eyes of the IRS. Then they can, of course, accelerate that using that deduction. So again, these are things to talk about with your tax accountant and your CPA. I don't think, though, because we looked at this a number of years ago, and we actually looked at it with like 3 of our rental properties. It just didn't make sense to have, because what the CPA has to do, they have to fly to your properties. They have to fly there. They stay there for a few days. They walk through the properties. They stay in a hotel, and you're paying for that to do that cost segregation analysis. So I just don't think, again, talk to your CPA. I don't think it's going to be worthwhile. I think the savings that you'll get will not be offset by the cost it would take for you to pay for the cost segregation analysis. So thank you, Jane, for that question. You can go to our website at morrisinvest.com, click on the microphone icon and leave us a voicemail question, and we will attempt to answer it here on the show. Much love to all of you. Now go out there, take action to become a real estate investor. I believe it's the #1 way to build wealth, preserve wealth in this crazy inflationary environment. We'll see you next time, everyone.